Hey, you guys. Well, this is my second live this morning. What do you know? So I wanted to come back because once again, I'm trying to get everything checked off my list, right? So I'm trying to make sure that I'm really talking about what it is. Matter of fact, let's see. Actually, okay, where are we looking at? What am I looking at here? Okay, I'm looking at the wrong camera here. Let's go over here. There we go. There we go, you guys. I'm sorry I had to actually switch over because of the fact that I'm going to be bringing in something, the one screen here, to kind of talk to you guys about our setup. Some people ask me, okay, I did a thing before. What does the setup look like when we're here at our studio? But what does it look like when we go out remotely, when we're off site? What do we typically do? So I thought I would show our setup and kind of explain why we have to take hundreds of pounds of equipment when we travel. Because to do it's not just a live stream. If I'm doing a live stream, yeah, I mean, to be honest, hell, I've done live streams from my phone, right? You can do that. But when you're talking about television, you've got to have more equipment. Now, the good thing is, no longer do we need big satellite trucks. I was looking at and getting kind of envious of a satellite truck NBC just bought like last year, like $4.5 million or something like that. 18-wheeler, 18 people in it. They control it, use it for like NFL games, and that's well and good. That's great. But if you notice nowadays, literally, as I was seeing in my other video, you guys see it before this one, I can actually broadcast from handheld devices. We all know we all stream from our phones. When you're talking about sending a signal somewhere, it's inside your phone, right? But when we're doing it on site, we have, of course, the phone doesn't have enough bandwidth, of course. So I wanted to kind of talk to you guys and show you guys a typical configuration of how things work. So I'm going to bring up the other, let's go to the one screen. Okay, here we are at the one screen. And what I want to show you guys is, imagine, if you will, this is the set. We've got a set here. So this is the set of people. So we've got, and excuse my drawings, I'm not an artist, right? So these are, and I'm using this for our Super Media Week coming up, how we are going to be doing things. So you've got two analysts, okay? And normally if they interview somebody, it's usually like a guest, sometimes in the middle. We'll just go for sake for two people. So what we do normally is we have a cam here, right? Let's see, this is cam one. Okay, and we have another cam here. Okay, this is cam two. Okay, and then what we do is we'll usually have another camera here. Okay, a little recess back, and we're going to call that cam three. Okay, now why do we do that? The cam three is going to be what's called our wide shot. Okay, that's our wide shot. That's getting all of this, right? Getting all of this. Then cam one is usually going to cross. So cam one is going to usually focus on that analyst. Cam two is going to focus on this analyst. So normally you could get away with a 3 camera shot for this, and you could technically crop in. We have equipment where we could actually use 1 cam, we could crop in, but you're going to lose some resolution. So we don't like to do that. We keep everything at least 4K or above. But we're broadcasting, we're usually doing it at 1080 anyway. Anything more than that is going to call buffering on mobile devices. So we're always shooting these, even though we're recording locally at 4K, right? We're recording locally at 4K. Okay. So now, but we're broadcasting, we're always sending these signals, right? All these cameras are feeding into what's called a director unit. The director is going to be sitting here. This is a director. And why do we call it a director? Because this person is saying, okay, cam one, cam one. Now, I'm gonna be honest, these cameras are usually not manned. These cameras are sit on tripods and they're not manned. And the reason they're not manned is because we don't have to worry about any of any movement. Okay, they're set up, they're stationary, and it's just really, really easy. Okay. So let's go with that. Let's see. I'm going to show you guys. Okay. So let me just make sure I get audio in here because I'm looking at this camera and sometimes, I worry about is the audio clear. Okay, is that audio? Okay, so good. So what happens is this director is pulling from camera 1, camera 2, camera 3, right? And the director is sending that signal back to the network, okay? And that network is going to, that's OnStage Plus, back to OnStage Plus to our network. And then we're going to Apple TV, we're going to Roku TV, LG TV, oops, oh my God, my handwriting, Samsung TV, Android TV, Google. Yes, they have a separate, oh my goodness, hold on, let me just erase that here. Okay, Google TV, Amazon TV, and our app in the iOS App Store and the Google Play Store for Android phones. Okay. Okay, that's a lot to write. Okay. So we're going to all those. Plus, we're also going to social media, which might be YouTube and maybe Facebook. Okay. And depending on the thing, we might be also on Twitch and things like that. So this director is sending all these signals to our network, which is sending out to all these platforms. Now, in addition to that, we are going to be this year, we're going to be managing 3 more sets. Okay. So say this is the biggest set. We're going to be managing this one. That's our other set. This is Blitz here. And this is San Francisco. Okay. So we're going to be managing all those. So you're looking at cameras. So we say if this equals a camera, then we got same setup. Okay. And you can have these on tripods. You're not going to need a camera operator for all of these, but even if they're on tripods, guess what? They're feeding back to a director who is pulling the feeds from all the different camera things. Okay? Director. Okay? Now, let me show you how this works here. Now, what happens is all these directors are sending their feeds to this director. Yes. So not only is this director having to get the feeds they're managing from these cameras, they're getting the feeds they're managing from these cameras, but the cuts are being made by the decisions on the directors on these sets. Then they're sending their feeds to this primary director. This is called a primary director. Okay, and that primary director is sending that combined signal to the network, to these platforms. Okay, so this is a typical basic layout of the camera operators on a remote site. For example, this is going to be Super Bowl Media Week coming up in February. That's how the layout is going. Now, you want to talk about audio? We normally are going to have a boom mic. So let's just say mic, okay? So say a boom mic. This, oops, hold on. Once again, we'll back that up. Let's say a boom mic. So BM says a boom mic. If you see this is a boom mic. So we're gonna say we're gonna have a boom mic over here, and over here, right? With this, because the set is so big, a boom mic wouldn't be efficient, so they're gonna have lavs. They're gonna have lavaliers. Oops. Oh my goodness. Okay, so each of them, and let's say the lavalier is going to be Z. So they're going to have a lavalier, right? And that lavalier, of course, the audio is going to feed back in to the director's audio. Now, on top of the table, I know this is getting kind of crazy, but we also have a Rodecaster Pro. A Rodecaster Pro is because we also record the audio just for audio's sake. And that Rodecaster Pro usually sits on the table about here, and it has three XLR mics. So there's an XLR. Okay, this is looking terrible. Mic right here. Okay, that's because when they have a guest that wants to sit down, there's three mics. We're not trying to lob everybody up. They can sit down because, of course, the guest is going to be intermittent. They can sit down recording here. So that Rodecaster feed is also going to the director. And they can choose to pull from the Rodecaster feed, from the lavaliers when there's no guest, and the audio that's on these people from their boom mics, or if they choose their lavalier, is at the discretion of the director. They just got to make sure that when they're sending their cuts, they're sending their feeds, they're sending the audio as well, because this director is not responsible for their video or their audio, just for their feed getting from to them back to the network. That's the key. This is all important. This is paramount. Okay, so that is how we typically do a layout. That's how we typically do our layouts when we're going on site, and that's a simplified version, because if I showed you that now we're going to be setting up screens, backdrops, lighting. I haven't even incorporated the lighting into this. We normally get in at least 24 hours in advance, and our team sets up everything. We're there for hours setting up everything so that when the analysts, who in this case fly in from New York, Los Angeles, when they fly in, and they fly from all the country, but two main ones are iHeartMedia out in New York and Fox Sports. When they fly in for the set here, they sit down. They want to be able to sit down and get their stuff, who's first on their list, and that's how they're going to roll. That's how they're going to roll. So this is a simplified version. Like I said, let's go to the board again. This is a simplified version of how things are done from a video, just a video camera perspective. This is just our video setup. Okay, so if you're looking at this, you're like, what the hell? Yes, this is how things work. And so anybody says, oh, we always say, if anybody could, anybody would. So this is how, and this, you guys, this is nothing compared to the way they do it, of course, on much bigger sets. But over the years, we have gotten bigger than we were before. And we're always trying to add our production value and, up level it. So this is how our setup is set up. Now, if I was to talk about, I hadn't even got the thing ready to even talk about the personnel. So this year we're also going to have PR people that are going to be helping with the on-set people interfacing with the different coaches, athletes, celebrities, influencers to say, hey, can we get an interview from your person? When can we get an interview here or things like that? There's going to be production assistants that are going to go and say, okay, how do we, what do you need done? How do we move here? So I said we got video people that are going to be doing their own sets, things. There's a lot of moving parts. This is just a basic standard layout. Can you imagine what it's going to look like? What it's going to look like when we talk about logistics for people? It's a lot. It's a lot. So I just wanted to kind of go in here and kind of show you guys how that's going to look. How that's going to look, and I'm sorry, I'm expecting a delivery. How that's going to look when it comes to Super Bowl Media Week. So I hope that answers any questions. If you have any other questions, let me know, and I will gladly, I'll make time to kind of come in you guys and show you guys how our setup looks. And maybe next time I can actually talk to you guys about what it's going to look like from the human capital standpoint, as far as PR people, how they're going to work and things like that, because it's really, really interesting. All right. Well, that's all I got to say about that, you guys, and I'll be talking to you soon.